I think ever since WrestleMania 31 ended a couple of weeks ago, it's not unusual for kind of hardcore wrestling fans to already have half a mind on WrestleMania 32 and some of the matches that could happen there. I was reading an article the other day, sort of pondering on some of the matches that could happen next year, and the article seems to suggest that the show could be loaded with legends, people we haven't seen in a year, 2 years, maybe even more. And the fact that there could be at least two legend versus legend matches on the card as well. So it's not just that they're making a cameo appearance, it's the fact that they could actually be involved in the main card itself. And it kind of got me thinking. I mean, I was watching WrestleMania 12 so a couple of days before I'd read that article. And one kind of striking thing about that card is the kind of mock geriatrics match that they had kind of before the main show, which is something like Nacho Man versus the Huckster, and obviously it was an attempt by the WWE to kind of poke fun at WCW, who as a company were beating WWE in the ratings and did have sort of the popularity behind them at the time. This was Vince's way of saying that this is the difference between me and Ted. It's the fact that Vince knows the wrestling business and knows how to make stars, whereas essentially what Ted's doing is just buying wrestlers from other companies and showcasing them and getting as much money as they can. And everybody agreed that wasn't a sustainable business model in it, and it showed because of the eventual outcome of the Monday Night Wars. But then it got me thinking. I mean, like say a company like TNA had got their act together and had become like more of a legitimate rival for the WWE. Surely in this day and age their main point of attack would be, look at the proposed, or some of the proposed matches anyway, for WrestleMania 32. I mean, they're full of guys that, really popular, they bring in a lot of money, but essentially they're kind of has-beens in terms of the actual wrestling business. And, the irony is there, I suppose, and I tweeted about it when I read that article about, the match for the card for WrestleMania 32. As a fan, I'm not going to say that I'm not going to look forward to Sting versus Taker or Triple H versus The Rock. I mean, I'll probably watch them, enjoy them, and that'll all be fine and good. And I suppose for the context of the match, the card itself, WrestleMania 32, I think it could work quite well, and it would put a lot of people in seats. But then, again, in terms of sustainable business model, is this something the WWE, do they really know what they're doing long term anymore? It kind of showed with the Raw after WrestleMania 31. Was good as normal. The crowd was great, and there was some good debuts. But then after that, especially like last week's Raw, you kind of had that feeling again of all those legends that you'd seen on the WrestleMania 31 card. DX, NWO, Sting, Taker. It's quite likely we're not going to see them for the soonest time. Probably would be SummerSlam, but maybe not even until next year's WrestleMania. So it's almost like we're lumbered with the current roster that the WWE want us to kind of watch and get behind in the meantime, in between WrestleMania cards. And you just kind of think, the irony should really be so obvious. And I don't know why more people aren't talking about it, to be honest. I guess it's because wrestling fans, they're blinded by that kind of excitement of seeing Sting versus Taker. And I'm not saying I don't want to see that. But, how different really is the WWE today compared to WCW in the sort of mid-90s? And, it really shows that, with two rival companies, it does force one another to, put out a better product and to think more long-term and to build up stars. And again, you think that realistically speaking, the main event of WrestleMania 32, if you've got matches like Sting versus Taker, Brock versus Triple H, for argument's sake, something like that. What match from the current roster could you really put ahead of that as the main event? I mean, surely everybody's going to want to think, everybody's going to see Sting versus Taker maybe as the main event, or whatever it is. It's just something I thought about, and I'd be interested to know what other people think. Do you agree? Do you think the WWE do rely too much on the legends coming back? Do you care? Do you mind? Are you the kind of fan that kind of tunes into the big shows now and again and doesn't really watch Raw? Is that the reason why you're not tuning into Raw every week? I'd be really interested to sort of hear from you. Yes, it's just a quick video, really. My WrestleMania 31 review, I tried to upload it the other day and it didn't work for some reason. I will try again, so if you do want to see what I thought about the show, then hopefully by the time you watch this, there'll be something for you to view. Cool, yeah, have a good weekend, guys, and yeah, I'll see you all soon.